What's going on, good people? Before we get into today's episode, I want to just share a quick message from Atlanta Angels, okay? Now, Atlanta Angels reached out to me, and I wanted to get a chance to reach out to you all here because it's an organization that we are excited to just get a chance to share, and hopefully you'll get a chance to jump on their bandwagon. Long story short, Atlanta Angels is a local chapter here in Atlanta that's part of a national nonprofit organization here that's continuing to serve over 5,000 children in the foster care system here in Atlanta, as well as the caretakers, the mentors, etc. Now, they launched a program here in September of 2020, and they're continuing to look for support, especially as the holiday season beats up here. So they've got a campaign called hashtag Angels 20 and 20, and what they're looking to do is to have people get a chance to donate $20 towards their goal of $20,000 to support these families and children in the foster care system. So if you are interested, hit up atlantaangels.org or hit them up on IG Atlanta_Angels for more information. All right, now let's get to the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sum It Up with the Sumners. I am Katoya and
Damon in the building.
Yes, my awesome and amazing husband. And we are so glad that y'all have tuned in for episode 15. You know, it's something about things that come in fives, right? You know, 5, 10, 15. You're like, oh, snap.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
get
Got
excited.
Got a little weight.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about episode 15. And I guess I'll go ahead and tell you, we are talking about 10 things I wish I knew before getting into a relationship. Yeah. And we'll dig deeper into that. But before we start, of course, we always want to give you all the big thank yous and give some shout outs. So I'm going to start with our review.
Yes, let's do it here.
Let's do that. All right. So we have a review from I'm a Sumner fan.
Is that who it's from?
Yeah, okay, to be fair, that is the title of it.
I see.
I'm a Sumner fan.
Yeah.
And then they gave us maybe their
handle, the
their
tag.
handle tag from like what's that site we used to look at? Maybe from like
Black Planet.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
Bay 101289.
Oh yeah. Little MySpace.
Now to be fair, again, it's not BAE Bay.
No, we ain't know that.
It's BAY.
That's
so
BAY.
maybe, but anyway,
they may come up to 2019.
But what I want to say is, Bay, thank you for reviewing.
Appreciate
so
that.
let's see what I'm a Sumner
stars.
fan had to say. The Sumners are quality. I love listening to them and hearing about their journey. They're both hilarious and they are as real up close as they are far away. I know I've gotten to ask Damon for relationship advice in the past, and he's helped me work through a lot of things. He and Katoya care about people, and I'm excited for the next episode.
Okay, babe.
Okay.
All right.
Look at you, knowing us personally, which does mean something. You know?
It does.
You may have one perception of us through this podcast, and you might not know us, but for people who actually come in contact and can think the same things, it's a win.
Yeah, it is.
We're doing something right.
That's it. We're trying. Appreciate that. Please continue to rate and review up on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we do appreciate
Definitely.
that. I mean, we are bringing in the 5 stars. So excited. Thank y'all for just giving time. You know, it takes an extra click to do that. It takes thought and words to do that. So we appreciate it.
Definitely. Also want to shout out everybody rocking with us on Instagram, Summing Up Sumners.
Yeah.
Check that out right there. Also, this is the first time we're sitting here. We started Summing Up with the Sumners Facebook group. Get a chance to kind of build a little bit more over there.
We did.
So I'll kind of we'll put that in the link so you can check that out. Love for you to jump on the bandwagon with that.
And we want you to join everywhere because we're figuring it all out, right? It's the group. There's Patreon. There's Instagram. We're new. And we're just trying to create a community. And we appreciate y'all for listening, but we also want to be able to engage.
Yeah.
So many of our listeners who know us personally have texted and, are called and been like, I felt like we were having a conversation. Katoya, I need to talk to y'all. Hey, girl, what you doing? Like, and those people who do have our information can reach out, but we definitely want to just reach out to everyone. So Facebook groups, Patreon, and such really help us connect with you. So please join those groups. Find us anywhere. All of those mediums at Sum It Up with the Sumners.
Yeah. Last but not least, Patreon shout outs, people who have been rocking with us, jumping on the bandwagon for the exclusive content. We got some more bonuses coming your way soon in the month of November. We're excited about that. So, a few people want to shout out. Danielle Everett. Go back. We go back. Of course, the lovely Miss Abby Samuel. Paul Simpson, Kirsten, Mary Wheeler, Wayne Penn Jr., Warren, Jacqueline Malone, Tracy Culpepper, and the list isn't done. But I'm gonna stop for the second time because we gotta get to the episode.
I mean,
appreciate y'all.
The
jumping
support
on the
is
bandwagon.
real, and if you haven't jumped on this bandwagon, you should. So make sure you check us out at Patreon.
Patreon.
If you are confused, just go to Instagram, and we have beefed up that little Linktree link so you can find us everywhere and any way. So definitely look at that so you know where we are.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get
into it. We're talking about today top 10 things I wish I knew before being in a relationship. Woo! Top 10 things I wish you knew before being married. Any way you want to slice it.
Yeah.
These are some things that we was like, you know what? People have asked us questions. We've thought questions. So, we're trying to bring you into the conversations here. Things that we consider, things that we think through, things that we wonder, things that we're still not maybe on the same page about. Whatever. We getting into it this week and probably next week. It's probably going to be a 2-part. So
Absolutely.
Let's jump into it. So,
yeah.
First thing, top 10 things I wish I knew before getting in a relationship. It ain't like the movies.
It's not like
it ain't like the movies.
Oh, you know me and my music. I wanna be like those girls in the movies. Old school Ashanti. Who with me though?
Who with me?
So they're not real. Okay, those movie chicks are not real, and those movie relationships are not real. So I mean, they try, they do, and there are some that portray very well, but it's just not.
No, it's not. It's not. And the movies, we love a good rom-com. We grew up in our relationship watching tons of rom-coms.
Just the other day.
You were crying. Just boo-hooing. Just
It ended very perfectly.
Like they always do. And real life is not like the movies.
I mean, they all, let's start from a rom-com. Sure. That's a good one. Because we're talking about relationships, so it's some type of romantic comedy. Hopefully you have a little romance and a little comedy, okay? If you're lacking those two things, you need those. You're trying to aim for the rom-com. We may fail because it's not like the movies. But one thing in those rom-coms is that it does have that moment of, tension, and you're waiting. You're like, he gonna lie.
What happened?
She ain't gonna put him first.
What happened?
Yeah, but in a real relationship that's not within 90 minutes, that scenario just keeps
We've got to have two people come together. That's the great thing about a rom-com. Two people have to come together from their own worlds. Somehow, some way, randomly, right? They're just on the subway, right? They're on the subway. Somebody drops a bag. Oh, did you drop this?
Eyes match.
Boom, right? And then next thing you know, 2 years, they're in an apartment together in Manhattan. Something goes wrong. His dad dies. Well, why you didn't invite me to the funeral? Now we got the tension.
Right.
Here's the airport scene. 90 minutes.
Right, but that's 90 minutes. So a relationship and marriage is consistent. So just imagine playing the climatic,
the
climax scene. Just almost every day, right? And that's how we know it's not like the movies. And so that's we're not doing myths or anything. We're just saying things we wish we knew. But just know that it's going to not be in this pretty package all the time, right? Like this, you're right. We all know that no matter if we are in an actual relationship or not, in a romantic relationship or not, we have relations with others, and just like those relationships with other people, it's just going to be up and down and up and down, and it's going to just not be glitz and glam.
Yeah, the cookie cutter format. When I think about just movies, it's just like you talked about here. It's just not going to be just this package here, because what you're going to have is you're going to have so many variables that, like a movie, like even a TV show where we get a chance to see characters, right, kind of portray kind of things that really happen. But if we're honest, movies never really get into all the mess. It's usually
the start.
It's usually
the start.
But it's always like 2 or 3 things, like adultery or work gets in the way, right, or or friends or something like that. But there's so much more mess and dirt and effort, that comes with it. So it's just so much. Movies are 2D. in a sense, right? And then when you're kind of really trying to live in a marriage, when you're really trying to be in an exclusive relationship, it is 3D. It is it is fully dynamic, you know what I'm saying, with all the dimensions. And so that's just one piece of the puzzle that's just like, this ain't the same.
Yeah.
This is not the same here.
I just think, like, you know, you watch TV and you're like, you finish. I don't know. I think I was talking to Mission about, like, Hunger Games, for instance. And I'm just going to call it, I don't know. But you want to know what life looked like after, right? It's like they only can show you all of the beginning because they're building that foundation. But you need, like, well, this is also why I like TV shows versus movies because I want to keep going and I don't just need the excitement for 90 minutes. I actually want to be like, so then what happened? So then what happened? So then what happened? Right? Yeah, that is definitely why I like series more than I like movies. But
also, just the romance in movies are just very different as well.
It's true.
It's just very just hot or cold. It's just really it. I had an old bit. I'm not gonna bring.
I was just gonna bring it up.
I'm not gonna.
That was like David's first bit.
It was one of my first bits.
And is it still on YouTube?
I don't think so.
Did you take it down?
I take down old stuff. It's
oh man, that was so funny. But because it was not all true. Because I'll just say that he said things I don't even do or use. So I don't even understand. And I took that joke personally.
You did take it personally.
And I was like, that's not true at all.
I
mean, I was 10 years younger than this. And some of the things were not accurate.
What the bit is about, you're like, what's the bit about? The bit was essentially about movie sex and just how different that is. And you just watch a movie after you listen to this. You're like, oh, that's not how it goes at all. That's all we're going to say about that. But yeah, that's one thing. Number 2 on the list.
All
right. Number 2 on the list here is that your flaws will be exposed, okay?
Just like to the bare meat, just skin, just layers.
Just the meat, the little ligament. Just see all of that.
Yeah.
The grissom, what they call them back in there, the grissom? You know about that?
No, I don't.
You don't know that word?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's an old folks word right there. I think it got in the grissom.
Gristle.
Grissom?
You said grissom.
Grissom? It might be a grissom. My grandma Louisiana. Oh, that could be a different word right there. Yeah, you're gonna get a chance to see the flaws. You're gonna get a chance to see you're gonna get a chance to be self-aware, see your partner's flaws, right? And it's just like, ooh, I'm not as great as I thought I was.
I know.
I'm the most powerful man in these streets.
I got another song.
What you got? Give it to him. Hit him with it.
It's Beyonce, Flaws and All, but I couldn't think of the beginning of it.
Come back with
I'm up in the afternoon, every now and then what I want is.
Ooh, boy, that's 2.
I can be someone mean towards you. It's such a good song.
You know when you get to the part of the song you really know?
I'm sorry, B.
Yeah,
it's been a minute. But if I listened to it with her, I would know all the words.
I'm all in.
Independently, not as good. But Flaws and All, just the reality. I mean, I am far more of a talker. You can't always tell on this podcast because Damon does like to talk too. He has to be in the right element. But when it comes to probably being overly communicative.
That's good.
I don't know. I might have made that one up.
Go with that.
But,
Go with that. It's 2020.
When it's talking about communicating feelings, you have to just change the sentence. Communicating your feelings, that is my thing, right? And David's kind of like, yeah. I ain't got time for, I'll share when I need to. And so I feel like I'm constantly just like, this is my flaws. Like I'm just laying it in. I mean, we see them, whether we discuss them or not, but that's just being 2 different people who process differently. But the flaws, right? And the willingness to trust that person with those flaws and to be vulnerable within those flaws, right? Like, no one said that you needed to come here perfect, right? Like, and if you ever felt like that in your relationship, that is time for a deep conversation because perfection is, it's kind of lame, right? Like, it's not reality, right? That's not who we are. It's not what we can be. We can only keep striving, but not toward perfection, but just to better us. And so being open and available to, like, give them flaws out.
Yeah. And it's not an age thing. It's not an age thing in the sense if you're 48 listening to this or you're 21 listening to this, because we are all coming with at least 2 decades of who we are, how we grew up, our upbringing. So when you come into it and you get a little tension, a little conflict about this flaw, right? That's a real legit flaw, not just a personal preference. Like for myself, like I didn't really realize, I was like, dang, I'm a really proud man. Like I'm a really proud person. Just like,
I didn't know he was gonna say it. That's how prideful
I've
he
come a
is.
long way, baby.
I was like, he ain't gonna say that. He gonna
Come a long way.
choose some like second tier flaw.
Nah. We
That's
out here in the street.
That's flaw tier 1.
Listen, and it caused a lot of tension. So being able to not just expose the flaws. Oh, not the pity pat. Not the pity pat. That's one
No,
thing
that
they
was
don't do.
the
Top 10 things.
sweet background.
Oh, okay.
Don't get him.
Okay.
This would have.
Oh, that's that. So that's just another thing, and also being able to understand, these flaws are a thing that we can be vulnerable and showcase, and then try to walk in understanding and growth, right? Like we don't have to. We can. It's fine. One of my old people I used to love back in the day listen to. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. Something to that effect. And so walking in a relationship, growing in a relationship. Hey, these the flaws. Here's the growth, but we're gonna move ahead. We don't want to be in the same spot in a year.
And then also, I think too, like with flaws, the reality is it's probably gonna be some constant battle. So you have to just love the person despite the flaws because they've already been doing.
For better or worse,
it's just not gonna stop. Most of them are. They can improve, but they ain't gonna. They probably ain't gonna stop. So I just need to learn how to love you through that. And so I just want to do just a small segue just to clarify on the title because it's 10 things I wish I knew about being in a relationship, before being in a relationship. But I really think it's about understanding because I always think about like the things that someone they did tell me, but did I listen? Did I and it wasn't my fault necessarily. Sure. I didn't know to really take it in. So if you're out there and you're at the start of a relationship or you're trying to like figure out your relationship, if these things don't necessarily pertain to you, but like don't let it go in one ear and out because maybe you're not at the point to understand it or of some sort. But do know that it's things you wish you knew, but it's also things like that you're trying to understand for yourself and how it will work in the dynamic of your relationship. Because everybody's different.
Everybody's different. All right.
So, that's it.
That's it. Hit them with it. Things understanding is important.
Yeah.
I had an older cousin who told me when I was like 12, 13, he was like, yo, driving ain't all it's cracked up to be because your parents make you become a bond servant. And it kind of went in one end. If you listen, you probably know what I'm talking about. When you got that permit,
that was me.
You got that license, they're like, oh, y'all want to drive whatever you need. I'm there. I got you, Mom. I got you. Dad. You said that?
Oh, I said, if I just get a car, I'll do whatever you want anytime.
You said those words.
I meant it. Before I got it. And then when I got it, I didn't mean it anymore because then I was just running up for ice and cheese and sandwich bread.
What? Can we not make a list and get that on Friday? No, run up there to it real quick and get that for me now, real quick.
I'm sleepy.
Just go get me a pack of Jumbo cookies. Anyway, tangents. Here we go. Let's move on. Number 3 on the list here. Watching other couples. Watching other couples. This was one where, I think we did a pretty good job with it. We could probably do another episode or something about this another time here. But like we went out, if you remember, with several older couples in the game when we started dating, especially when in college, and I think maybe when we graduated college here, like we would go over to their house.
Yeah, we did.
Play a couple games and just talk. But this one here is like it's really beneficial. And I'm just gonna, if you listen to this still during the pandemic, then things may be different to a degree, right?
Yeah.
But this one is really important. I think it really matters a lot.
It does, and I think it's good that you said. I thought about like being in the pandemic and how it might be hard to like hang out with people, but you should get you a couple of families that you can hang out with. But and I am saying that to say that it should be in person because everybody's life can look as grand as it needs to look on social media. But you really want to be able to see how someone's home operates, or and that's just like. I like that. Don't like that. Ooh, how are they working through that? Like, it's like on the job. It's an internship.
That's what it is. Unpaid. That makes sense. Unpaid internship.
Let me watch these kids. Whoa, that's not a system I like. Or ooh, this works really well. I mean, I used to have a couple that I really loved the way they raised their children, and I was like, okay, I know I can talk to her about this. I love, the way that they're doing that. And only time will really tell, right, if the systems work out well. But at the end of the day, that's just not even on the parent. That is just really up to how your child is. So you can't put that on parenting. But anyway, so just saying, like, in those type of ways, how do they love? How does, so and so say this to his wife, or to, just really observing other couples for the good.
Yeah. And also to leave the bad, right? We talked about that in a few episodes about growing up and family boundaries here. Like, all right, I'm going to take this, I'm going to leave that.
Yeah,
and
so, not that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get a chance to observe these couples. And so seeing how, just having conversations about, about their trials, about their triumphs, about their failures, like all that you can take in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to just remember, because I think a lot of you have been in a relationship for a while, have been married for a while. Like, we're always growing. Like, I'm speaking for the Sumners are always trying to get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're in our early 30s. Hello, early 30s. And we're still trying to get better. We're still trying to raise kids through middle school and high school. We're still trying to, get to where our careers are booming and trying to figure out transitions. And, like, a lot of stuff is still happening for us. So, as we're continuing to look, listen, watch, play, live life, share meals with other couples. Maybe they're older, maybe they're not older. Maybe they're younger, but they've been in it longer. It don't even matter. We could be on the same pace, but we could still do things differently. I'm like, oh, I like the way you do that. Oh, that's how y'all handle the
I like the way you said that.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, so that's how y'all share the load. Okay.
Ah.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Oh no.
Oh no, you can keep that.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Y'all ain't going. Anyway, so that's another one right there on the list for sure. What else we got? What else on the list?
All right, on the list that people are different. Ooh. That we've already talked to y'all a little bit about this one.
Listen, let me just jump in. Can I jump in for a second?
Yeah, please.
Okay. This one speaks specifically to me here. I did not know. See, here's the thing, because she said something earlier here. I don't know if she was real sly and smooth here about the communication here. I was, and I think for the most part here, to a degree, I was the romantic coming into the relationship. In the sense of, like, I had never been in a relationship, so it was only based off of movies, TVs, books, and so I kind of just had this fantasy-like idea, right, about coming into a relationship, coming into marriage. And not really fully processing just like how people are different. I was like, yo, this is my life, this is my circle. When you grow up around the same people, go to school, go to work, do church, do family, like, we all kind of similar. We all eat the same, we all talk the same, we all communicate the same.
That just sounds like change these things.
Pleasantville.
I'm overwhelmed by hearing so much commonality. I'm like, get some tension in your life.
And so people are different. It's like, oh man, like this is real. And so how am I going to walk in that, adjust, right, and accept all those things for me here? Were you walking in Pleasantville like I was?
I think I always still feel that way in some ways. I'm like, don't you think like me? And that's why I get so upset when I realize we do not.
I hear that once a month.
And I'm just like, but duh. D-U-H, duh. Duh, ain't you thinking like me?
I'm like, no, I don't think like that. I ain't think like that.
And I just have...
I like sugar in my grits.
Such a bad face. That is such a small problem. Let me tell you, it'd be about big stuff, okay? That's all he could throw out then, but no, it's like... What? Why are we on the two different pages? And it's just so frustrating.
You ain't used the card like we're supposed to use the card.
Just all kind of stuff.
All type of stuff.
And there's so much grace in that too, because then you want to think negatively and be like, ugh. Mm-hmm. How are you thinking?
That's important because now
it's not fair.
Right? Because it's coming in. Like, if two people were thinking honestly, because there's different categories, right? If somebody was making a right decision and somebody was making a wrong decision, that ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about if two people with two different perspectives, right? Two ways of thinking about a problem, a situation, maybe even a solution, and they just think about it in a different way. And you come together and be like, whew, we really getting into a spat about this.
Mm-hmm. We going through a lot. We
Update.
We moved out of one house that we were renting, and then moved into an Airbnb for 2 months, and then now we're into our new home. and it's just a lot going
lot.
on. But
You know
it's
how
small
moving
stuff,
goes.
like even the fact of how we were unpacking things. And I was like, yeah, but don't just we don't need all of that in that box, Damon. Like, it's in the box that we brought, bet. But in this box, now we need to reevaluate, and we don't need that stuff. So let's reevaluate before we put it in the closet.
She's giving you real life yesterday issues, ladies and gentlemen. Real life. This is real.
Damon's like,
I was gonna do that was a step, that was another day task. In a house full of boxes, we gonna put the sheets in the closet. Tomorrow I'll get the kids and we'll go through. She was like,
no. To me, it felt like extra work.
Right.
Why have to go back to this closet and then reorganize this closet when you already just put all that stuff in the closet? I really need y'all to tell me what you think. I was perplexed and I just walked away. But I have to understand, and I do appreciate it because Damon's all about tidying. We've already talked about that. Like, I'm a cleaner, he's a tidier. And me and Mission together will get into a task that takes too long and is not for the amount of time that's needed. And I do know that about myself. However, just trying to make the use of space. So that's just a real personal bit there. But I would love for y'all to say how you might have operated.
Please let us know. This is a tangent here because we're just living life. It's a good time. I was thinking about us doing, maybe we might try for November. Let us know what you think. About doing an IG series, right? Where we come on and we share a spat, for lack of better words, a disagreement with perspective, and then have people chime in on like, it's almost like who you with, and then we share both sides. Again, this isn't a right or wrong. It's more of a, here's just literally two people coming in with two different thoughts. We might try that for it. We'll see. Let us know what you think. But let us know, all jokes aside, about you like, Damon, that makes sense. Oh no, actually Katoya was 100% right. Let us know. Guy, girl, man, woman, husband, married, not, whatever. Let us know what you think. And that was important because when you talk about the packing, like, I'm a throwawayer. I have a belief that if I have not worn it in 6 months to a year, right? It better not get 2 years. It's not even a question. If I have not worn it in 6 months, if I have not read it, used it, right? It is not a necessity in my life, more than likely, not always. And so I feel very free and chunking that bad boy. I'm a chunker, you understand? Katoya, not so much. And so again, not saying somebody's right or wrong with the perspective, but it's different.
Yeah.
And walking in that difference is why we're many relationships. I think that's really where many relationships find tension, is that we're different people trying to make it work.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Let's see what we got next on the list here. How much work and learning it takes. How much work and learning it takes. What do you think about that one right there? Oof.
Put in work. It does take a lot of work. And I think, like, I say, like, for us, we started being in a relationship so young till, like, our wedding was the biggest thing we had ever planned in our life. And probably still has been to this day.
We'll move to continent.
Yeah, but planning an event, that involved us three.
Sure.
Like, like, it just is... just thinking about, like, so many new things. I'd had a little relationship here or there. Clearly, they didn't work out. I wasn't in them. So it's just...
You lost, boo.
So it's like, it took work. And, like, to realize the amount of effort it would take to, like, understand someone, be selfless, and... like, meet their needs and not just yours. Like, it does take tons of work.
Yeah. I think there's another element of that work too, because things are constantly changing. Like, when you're in, that honeymoon phase, and I don't even mean like got married honeymoon. I mean just like newness. When you're in that new phase, it's just, everything's just popping, just boom, boom. Things are hot. Things are great. And then as you continue to move on in a relationship, time is everybody's enemy. As you move on, things change. Like, careers change. You move, those things change. Maybe you were together in the same city, now you're long distance. Then you throw in a kid, right? Maybe there's an illness. Like, so many things change. Somebody lose their job. And so, like, the work to make things change in different seasons is constant, right? To make it work. This is the person you fell in love with. It's the person you care about. You want to, hopefully be with for the rest of your life. but the context keeps changing, and so it's just like, woo, like you're the same person, but like I'm different. Like it's not just looking at you gotta look in your mirror too. It's like, okay, I
Yeah.
think differently about things now. You know what I mean? And so it's like when I lose. I go through seasons. I feel like every year I lose 20 pounds twice. I feel that's just a thing I just wrestle with. Every year I feel like I lose 20 pounds twice. So when I'm in my slimmest, I think differently about food. I think differently. I pass it to McDonald's. Not today, Arches. And I'm just out.
Don't get me.
But when I'm down in the dumps, ooh, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to pull up right now and get a double cheeseburger, mac chicken, 2 apple pies, and a large fry. Say something. Like, it's just differently. So I think that's just one
Say
thing.
Rescue, help, please,
Please,
send,
SOS.
relief now.
But I think that's an important piece of it. It's just understanding that
It is true.
it takes work because we're constantly changing.
Yeah.
Because you're not the same.
No, I am not.
She's not the same, guys.
And you just kind of like flow with that, right? I mean, I feel like we've, discussed some of this before for sure, but yeah, just throwing it back out there.
Throwing it back out there.
Because it's like not a movie. And it's not just one time. It's consistent and continual putting these thoughts back to the front of our mind.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we're gonna pause there because I think we're gonna do this in a part 2 segment here because we try to keep y'all nice and tight, close to 30 minutes.
Try our best.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna give you a part 2 next week. But let us know what you think. Let us know definitely who was right about that hall closet. That's for sure. We're gonna be expecting that. But yeah, these were just we gave you 5 top 10 things we wish you knew before being in a relationship. As always, thank y'all so much, man. We're just out here sitting in a room on an ottoman, get a chance to share life, talk a little bit about life, because hopefully you're finding value in this podcast because we're definitely having a good time doing it. But also before we get out of here, just continue to rate and review on iTunes, or is that Apple Store? I forget. Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Rate and review on Apple. Follow, like, subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Google Play. I'm telling you, we're everywhere.
All
so
over the
there's
place.
just
We're all over
not
the
a
place.
reason to not connect. And don't forget that Facebook group. And follow us on Facebook. We're just trying to share, talk, enjoy, and be around as many people as we can. So, thank y'all for rocking with us, and we will see you next week.
See you.